from just practicing yesterday to now start practicing for some teams that you know is in the regional?
Yeah, we were actually practicing when they announced the bracket, so we did not know who was on our regional at that time. But certainly that'll start now, and our video guys who do such a great job for us will start locating all the video we need. And I actually have seen Simo's left-hander on film already, just a little bit, and he's really good, and his numbers are phenomenal. I know how good the pitching is at Cal State Fullerton and how good a club they are, and obviously with Jake being on our staff in 2013, I know how much has gone into Louisiana Tech. So great regional. I think if you combined all the RPIs of this regional, it's pretty darn good and pretty competitive. And I was just telling our club though, we're really focused on what we're trying to do. And I'm assuming all the clubs that are coming here are doing the same thing. So it's a good field. We're excited about it, but we still have a lot of work to do before we open up on Friday.
How soon would you like to make some pitching decisions? How much scouting will that take?
We got to see him play. We got to see Simo play before we make that decision. I couldn't tell you right now what their left-right situation is, and that's going to be important. What their breakdown numbers are, left on left, right on right, situational. I don't really even know how their ballpark plays. So, and you got to know how their ballpark plays to really fully understand their statistics. So we got to get all that figured out here quickly.
What does it mean for this program to be a national seed for the first time?
Yeah, I think it's a great honor, but like I've said many times, we won the Southeastern Conference. That's a tremendous honor. You got about 2 minutes to take that in and say, okay, now we got to get ready for the SEC tournament. We've been named a national seed, which is a great honor, and now we got to get ready to play well against a very, very good field. So, you don't have time to sit back and look at the historical things that are happening. You spend all your time trying to prepare for what's going to happen next.
I talked to a couple former players today, and they mentioned that these players will think about this in the coming years. Do you think that'll happen, that they'll really reflect on this season and just what they were able to do?
Oh, there's no question. I'm telling you right now, I can still reflect by the second what happened when we lost to North Carolina in 1989, because I thought we had by far and away the best team in the country. Now, when you're 21 years old or 22, you always think you're the best in the country, but that was a bad feeling in front of our own fans here in 1989. And of course, we're fortunate enough the next year to go to Omaha and have a great year then. But yeah, it'll stick with you. I mean, I've been in this business for a long time, and that kind of thing still sticks with me. So yeah, you don't want to talk about that kind of stuff with your players because they're so young, they don't really have time to reflect on things. But yeah, I mean, it's important.
Any thoughts so far as to pitching rotation, pitching plans, that sort of thing? Dakota on Friday, or any thought to that?
Again, you really got to watch the film of Simo and see, what their situation is, and then you got to look at the 2 and 3s and you got 2 and 3 seeds, and you got to have a feel for what their lineups are, and it's a combination of what our guys are doing well right now versus the matchups. So you got to balance those two things, and you can't really see what the matchup situation is until you watch some film. That's what we're going to do.
Coming off Hoover with a couple of days just to work on yourselves, what did y'all work on?
Yeah, we got out in the heat and we got after it. I tell you what, yesterday was kind of a conditioning type of oriented baseball practice, and our kids got after it. They had tremendous attitudes. It's phenomenal. It's exactly what you expect out of a championship club. They gave us everything they had. We start tapering down a little bit from Sunday. Today was a little bit less. A little bit more specific about the running game, first and third situations, bunt plays, things of that nature defensively. We've had really nice BP sessions, and I like where our group is mentally, physically, all those things.
You talked about Simo's left-hander. I think they're 17th in the country with a .310 batting average. I mean, how tough of a 4 seed are they?
They're good. I mean, they're really good. I can't speak in an educated way about who are the best 4 seeds in the entire country, but if there's better 4 seeds out there than this. I mean, I was looking at Alabama Stages as an example. I mean, they're a really good 4 seed. I mean, I think there might be several of them out there, but yeah, this is a really good regional. And I know people are going to ask about who we're matched up with. I'll tell you who we're matched up with. We're matched up with Simo. That's our matchup. That's the game. We've got to do everything we can to win that baseball game because that's the one that matters the most.
I know you don't know who you're playing after that, but you're familiar with Dietrich at Cal State Fullerton. What makes them so dangerous? Number one pitching staff in the country as far as the ERA is concerned, and they have that experience too in the NCAA. What makes them dangerous coming
Well,
in?
I think I remember in '88 they came in here, and that's a long time, it's an eternity ago, before players were even born. But they brought a really talented club in here and won a regional here and went to Omaha from here. So, it's not uncommon for Fullerton to have success in different areas of the country. Boy, they have one of the great baseball dynasties in the history of college baseball. I think, you mentioned 10, 12, 15 programs around the country. You certainly have to mention them. They go as deep as anybody in terms of titles and NCAA appearances and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they can really pitch, they can really defend, and they win baseball games.
What's the identity behind that pitching staff? Is it swing and miss? Is it ground balls? When you kind of spoke with Dietrich, what was kind of his fundamentals?
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're really mentally strong, and he does such a great job with that. And they're a really good club. They're just mentally tough. When you play the schedule that they do in Southern California and the West Coast Conference, I mean, you can play some really difficult teams, and week in, week out, they're going to be battle tested. And a trip on an airplane for 3.5, 4 hours isn't going to change that. They're going to be a really good team.
Basically, all number ones were in the Southeast or in Texas. Well, was it more what the South was doing right this year than what the West was doing wrong? What were your thoughts? Because I know that you had 3 games out there and you played Oregon as well.
I did notice that, at least in my baseball career as a coach, this might be. And just looking at the bracket just for 5 minutes, I just think the committee did a great job of awarding the teams that deserve to have regionals. And I know there's 1 or 2 discrepancies here. There always is. And the teams that deserve national seeds. And I know there were some clubs at the end there that probably deserved it as well. Some in our conference. But I think for the most part, I don't see that they made geography the main issue. And I think maybe in the past there's been some of that. And I think, the committee just did a great job of saying what's fair, what's the best field, what are the best matchups per seeding. And I think it was pretty fairly done. I really do.
Kind of